so we'll start with, how did you get your start in acting?
So I actually started out as a dancer when I was 4 years old in England. And then when we moved to Canada, that's when I kind of explored different styles of dance. And then I always thought I was going to be a dancer. And then it was through a dancing job that I booked an acting role that I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do. And then I guess that's kind of how I fell into the acting industry as well. And they kind of, they tie in together. So
Can you walk us through your CMTC experience?
yes. So I actually initially found CMTC because I was thinking about modeling, and my mum found it online. And I took the opportunity to try everything. And I went to all of the seminars and I entered all the competitions, like even singing. I obviously did the dancing, I did all the acting. And at that point, I knew I was interested in acting. So I definitely took that opportunity. And then I got a few callbacks. And by the time I got back home, I went to send out my emails to the callbacks, and I already had received one from my now manager, Ray. So that was super exciting, and we were in touch like immediately, and he just saw a lot of potential in me, and now he's my manager, so it's really cool.
What about your biggest career highlight so far?
I would have to say it's Find Me in Paris. I get to film in Paris and Belgium, and we traveled all over Europe. And we've done 3 seasons, and it's gone really well. And I get to work with some of the most incredible people that I've ever met. And yeah, it's just been like such a crazy like roller coaster, but like a dream that I didn't even know was like could be reality. So that's definitely my highlight.
You just moved to LA, so can you talk to us about what a day looks like in LA for you as an actor and dancer?
Yeah. So since I just moved there, and I'm already back in Canada, so not a lot has happened. I was only there for like a month and a half at this point, but it's pretty crazy. Because I was there for pilot season, which is just auditions like every day and meetings all the time, which is super exciting. Like that's what I want to be doing. So I'm not complaining at all, and I love like the busy life. So it's pretty much like I'll get up, I'll go to a meeting with my manager, or somebody that my manager has set up a meeting with, and then maybe an audition, or I'll go for a coaching session. But it's pretty much just grinding it out and like auditioning to get a part. And then if you make it to a certain point in the audition process, that's when things get really crazy, because you want to book in coaching and auditions and meditation and yoga. Like it becomes a whole like day-to-day like point form, very specific schedule for me at least. So yeah, like I said, it was only about a month and a half that I was there, but since it was pilot season, it was just crazy.
Can you provide some info about self-tapes?
Obviously, everyone has a different way of kind of dissecting the dialogue and the script and the character and things like that. So I really take my time with that kind of thing. And I think just because I've done so many self-tapes, I can quickly get it, like pound it out. But basically, I think the main thing is to have really good lighting. I love daylight, but I know a lot of people might not be free until nighttime. So I know some people have like the ring light, which looks amazing. I do have that, but I do prefer daylight. I just think it looks more natural. I always like to have my eye line close-ish to the camera, but not that it's looking directly into the camera. Because I've seen some tapes where like the person's totally looking in a different direction and you can't feel the energy from them. So I do definitely like to keep my eye line close to camera. I always dress the part, but I don't go over the top. Like I keep it natural. But like if the character's more like a tomboy, I won't be wearing like a pink shirt. You know what I mean? Like, and then I'm trying to think. Obviously, to have a good reader, but I mean, a reader's like it is a big deal. But to be honest, I've actually done self-tapes where I haven't had a reader at all. And I know that's like super confusing, but I was in a situation when I was filming in Paris, and I just flown back from England from visiting my family, and all the cast were at a concert, and I had to do this tape that was due in the morning. And I was like, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? So I actually learned the other person's lines and like read them in my head as I was filming myself. Like it's crazy. And I did the lines, and then afterwards I like recorded my own dialogue on top. Or I got a castmate that in the morning to like record the dialogue, and I don't think that's normal. I don't think people do that, but
But you made it work. Like that is like a key thing there, is just making it work no matter what.
yeah, you just gotta grind it out, like whatever you can do to, and I did it, like I felt really good about my performance, which was surprising because I'm not looking at anyone when I'm doing the lines.
No, and they do say that's why it is good to have a reader if you can have one, because you're working off of that other person. So that
Right.
would make
And like I've done a bunch of tapes with my friends and my mom and stuff, and it still works fine. It doesn't have to be an actor.
yeah.
But you just have to be patient with them, especially because they're new to this world and you might be new to the world as well. So it is like a lot of patience, and it's also remembering that you might put so much work into a self tape and you might not hear anything back, and that's so normal. And it's just part of the industry, and it's something that we all have to go through. But that's the big thing for me, is like you do put so much effort into auditions in general, and especially self tapes, getting the right lighting, getting your reader. You do it like a few times so that you have the right take, and then yeah, you might not hear any feedback at all. So that's just a thing to remember, that it is normal and not to take it to heart.
How do you go about going to auditions, and then do you just wipe it out of your mind after the audition, like kill it, like go in, do your best and kill it, and then walk out and feel just as great going into your next audition if you don't hear back? Like, could you give some tips about that?
What I do is I'll prepare all night, all morning, whatever it is, for the audition. Go into the room, be confident, even if I'm feeling nervous. You have to be confident in yourself. Kill it, and then walk out of there, and I'll go get myself like a Starbucks and continue with my day. Like, you can't think about it unless it's a situation like when I was in casting with a couple of jobs over in LA, and we got to like a testing stage. That's when like I can't drop it when I walk out of the room, because you actually will hear back like yes or no. So it depends on the situation. If it's like the first audition, like at the first in-room audition for that job, then I just go in, kill it, and leave and do something with my day. I try and do something so that I'm not sitting in my apartment like, so did they like me, or like what's going on? It's definitely a hard thing, but it's something like I've had to practice, and now I'm pretty good at like letting it go. The testing, like I tested for a job, and I was so close, and it was between me and another girl, and I wanted it so bad, and like that was one that I couldn't stop thinking about. Like I'll admit, like I didn't sleep that night. I was like waiting all night to find out, and I didn't get it, and I was really, really upset. Like I cried. It was really hard for me to like accept it, but it made me realize, it made me stronger in to go forward in other auditions, and I just know that like that job wasn't right for me, and to make it that far is like amazing. Even to get an audition into a room is incredible. So no matter what happens, I think it's important to remember to like be proud of yourself and continue to believe in yourself and not give up because you get a no, even no matter how close you get to it.
And even top supermodels and top actors, they are not getting every single role they're auditioning for. It has to be a good fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in saying that, so you're obviously going to a lot of auditions, you're doing self tapes. So, how are you balancing also like working on your craft as far as acting as well as dance? We always like to say that there's always learning to be done. You can always be practicing your craft. So, as someone who's obviously been very successful even so far and so early on in your career, how do you continue to work on your skills?
I mean, auditioning is like my favorite way of, practicing the craft. And obviously being on set is like the biggest learning experience. But I would say in terms of acting, I do have a coach that I found that I really like. And it took me a long time to find someone that I really connected with, but he's so amazing, and he's in LA. And so I'll go and he does classes. So I might go and do a class with him, or I'll just bring an audition to him. And even working on an audition for a tape or an in-room audition just helps. Like I learned so much from the experience. And even with coaching, it helps me find things about myself that I didn't realize, and he might bring out, it's just like once you have that connection with a coach, you work so well together, and they bring out the best in you and you bring out the best in them. So I did finally find a coach that I love. In terms of dancing, I feel like that's my way of working out. Like I'll go to the gym, and I get so bored in the gym, like I can't do it. So I'll just be in the studio. I'll do my little dance warm up, and then I'll just like make up a dance. Or my roommate's a dancer as well, so we'll just like have a little dance session in the gym. So I'm always kind of dancing. It's always going to be part of my life, and same with acting. It's important to always practice the craft, I think.
Question that kept coming through on Instagram is, what is it like to be on set? I know you traveled to you did Find Me in Paris, but didn't you also travel to Amsterdam? Was it Amsterdam?
Oh yes, yeah. We went to so many places. We didn't film in Amsterdam, but like we went.
Where did you film?
Ransom.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
We filmed in Budapest.
Budapest. Why did I think Amsterdam? Okay. So can you kind of talk about being on set, I guess, and then I guess balancing like the traveling aspect, like being in a whole different, I know you're also from the UK, so it's a bit different for you, but from coming from like a Port Perry to Paris, and then kind of traveling and also trying to learn a script.
Yes, the traveling aspect of it is super exciting for me because I love to travel, but it does get a little bit crazy, especially jet lag. Like if I'm traveling from Canada to Paris, or even just like Paris to the UK, like if I'm visiting family, it's only a small time difference, but it does make a difference. So it's important that I get all my sleep and not like let little things distract me. Like I'll make sure I'm getting a full, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but like 6 hours of sleep when I'm working is like a lot for me. So I'll make sure I'm getting a good amount of sleep. But yeah, in terms of like actually being on set in all of these different countries is incredible, because we even get to work with like different crew members. So if we're filming so Find Me in Paris films in Paris and Belgium, and we have different crew for Paris and Belgium, which is awesome because then we get to switch between all these people, and and everyone's so lovely. So that is really nice. But it does become a little bit difficult with like the language barrier was difficult. And as well, when I filmed in Budapest for Ransom, that was a little strange for me as well, because that was a completely like foreign language to my ear, where in Paris I was kind of used to hearing the French, I kind of understood it. And in Belgium they speak French as well, so it wasn't new to me as much as it was in Budapest. But yeah, I actually learned a little bit of the language. Like I couldn't sit here and have a conversation with you in French, but if someone's like talking about me in French, I know what they're saying. You know what I mean? We did get to travel to a bunch of different places, which was really cool. Not even just to film, but as a cast, we were like, let's go to Amsterdam, like let's go to London. We did some press in London, so like that was really fun as well. But I'm lucky that I love to travel, and I think I'm like used to it now. Attending CMTC, for me, the best thing that I did was just put myself out there with everything, like attending all the seminars and the competitions, even if it's not something that I thought I would be necessarily super passionate about. It helped me meet all of these amazing people, whether it was the agents and the scouts and the managers, or even just the people attending. Like you're in this huge event with all of these like-minded people. They're all creative minds, and they all want to be in a similar industry. So it's such a good opportunity to connect with these people and make friends. And I think it's all about just putting yourself out there and not holding back. And I know it's scary, especially if you're a new face, but like I said, you've just got to put yourself out there, and no, don't let those like little negative voices in your head like hold you back. You just got to persevere and not give up and just believe in yourself. Definitely didn't realize how quick things go, but at the same time, like I knew that it would be difficult to persevere when you're getting told no and people aren't showing interest, or you don't hear anything back. But it was a lot harder than I actually thought it was. Like I'm quite sensitive in terms of that. Like I take criticism really well, but it's like when I don't hear anything and I don't know what I can improve on, it like really bothers me. But that's something that I've had to work on, and now it's very natural because I've been doing it for so long. But I think that's something that I wish I could have told myself, is just like be prepared for it, like, and just you can't give up, which I didn't, and thank goodness I didn't, because I wouldn't here if I did. So yeah, it's just I would just say I think I wasn't prepared for the amount of no's. Like it's not easy, but that doesn't mean that you should give up if it's something that you're really passionate about.
How long did it take you to learn ballet for the role?
I've been doing ballet since I was 4. Well, actually, no, not since I was 4. Since I was probably like 7. So I've had a ballet background, but then we took about a month to learn the ballet dances and do a bit of extra training. What I'll do in terms of when I receive the script is I'll read the entire script of the episode, and then on the weekend I'll learn the lines for the week, and then all I have to do the night before is like recap, and especially like really learn the heavy dialogue or the heavy emotional scenes, because I don't want to be caught off guard on set if I forget a line, like with the emotional scenes, you know. And then with dancing, I'm always visualizing. I'll listen to the music and just visualize myself doing it in my head. And we have rehearsals on weekends, and then also as a cast we'll go to like the gym in our building and practice on our own, and I'm rehearsing, like I'll make some space in my apartment. I never want to go onto set feeling like I'm not prepared, so and I love dancing, so any opportunity and any time I have, I'll just be like rehearsing a piece so that I'm comfortable on set when I get there to film it.
Would you say you are similar to your character on Finding in Paris?
Yes, I actually do think I'm very similar to her. She is super passionate, and that's like my favorite quality about Lena. Because I think that I'm very passionate as well, and she sees the good in everyone, even people that do give her a hard time, and I think that I'm the same, so I really like how I can connect with her in that way. Yeah, we are very similar, and I feel like because she's from 1905, like the tiniest little things excite her, and she's so passionate about like the smallest little things, and I'm like that, and I'm not from 1905. It's just like part of who I am, so that was really, really fun to play Lena in that way as well.
What was your reaction, and do you remember where you were when you found out you booked the role and you were going to Paris?
Oh yes, I remember this moment very vividly. So I was actually helping out for auditions for The Next Step season 6. I was with Amy, the casting director, and I was helping the choreographer teach the dance, and I was like sitting on the panel, and it was like super fun. And then Amy was actually the casting director for Family in Paris. She was filling in because the original casting director couldn't do it. So she knew that I was in the mix for the role. And then in the middle of the audition, she was just like, okay, like everyone take a break. She's like, Jess, come here. And we went into like a dressing room, and she calls the writer of the show who I had worked with so that they could tell me that I got the job. So they FaceTimed me and told me, and I like broke down in tears because I was like, this is not happening. Like, how did this happen? Because it wasn't even like I planned to go into this audition, you know? So my mind hadn't prepared for the outcome. So it was just like super overwhelming and emotional. And I remember just like, even now, sometimes I'll just get emotional thinking about it, because I'm like, I never thought I would be the lead of my own show. Like, what is going on? Like, I never even thought I would be an actor. Oh, definitely not. It's never too late to start dancing. I did start when I was 4. I was super young. And I did ballroom dancing. I was like a little tot in a ballroom class. It was so cute. But then when I moved to Canada, they didn't have ballroom dancing for 4-year-olds. So that's when I got into like ballet and jazz and acrobatics, and then eventually like contemporary and hip hop, and I started competing and stuff. I definitely don't think it's too late to start. I know people that have started when they're 16. I know people that have started when they were 18. And if you're committed to it and you're passionate about it and you believe in yourself, then you can really do anything.
Bye.